All right, so now we have our first speaker. So everybody, let's welcome Joe Heincof, who's going to be speaking on People Shouldn't Drive.
Here's an interesting fact courtesy of a 2014 study by Texas A&M Transportation Institute. On average, people will spend 24 hours a year in traffic, and that number is increasing each year. I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't drive, each of you, and why instead you should let your cars drive you. Well, I myself have not been behind the wheel of a self-driving car. I do consider myself knowledgeable about the subject. Why should you care about self-driving cars? Well, other than the fact that no self-driving cars ever caused an accident, there's the little thing called traffic. Today, I will tell you why people cause traffic, how self-driving cars eliminate that problem, and finally, how eventually we won't even have traffic lights. I'm going to start by going over why people cause traffic. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, duh, people cause traffic because they're the ones driving. Well, I think you are very smart in thinking that, because that is absolutely correct. And before I get to just how correct you are, I have a few questions to ask all of you. Have you ever been sitting behind a few cars at an intersection at a red? Of course you are. You all have driven. Have you ever noticed when the light turns green, people aren't even moving yet because you're so far back? Does that annoy you? It annoys me. Yeah, it does annoy me. The light's green, why aren't we moving? The worst is when it comes to the thing when it's green, and it's your turn, and then finally it turns red and you're stuck. And you aren't even able to go through the intersection even though you've waited once. So you have to wait again. Here's another situation. Have you ever been on a highway and suddenly the cars just slow down to a stop, and then you're waiting there for maybe, 10, 20 minutes, and then finally after a few exits you're able to move again, but magically there was no accident? Well, the causes of this has been explained in C.G.P. Gray's video entitled The Simple Solution to Traffic, and the answer is coordination and reaction times. Both of these humans do terribly. Because not everybody accelerates at the same time at a traffic light, you get that delay effect where people will be caught in the red. As for the highway situation, this happens when people aren't far enough back from the person in front of them. So when somebody brakes, it'll cause a ripple effect. Or this even can happen when somebody just changes lanes. And this will continue to exacerbate until somebody eventually stops. As humans, we can't do what I just described because it's unsafe, the fact that you aren't coordinated enough with your other drivers, or the plain fact that people are just jerks. This is not a problem for self-driving cars, though. The more self-driving cars at an intersection, the more efficient it becomes, and the more cars can go through at once. This is due to the fact that the self-driving cars can communicate with each other and know when to accelerate. When it comes to highway driving, the more self-driving cars, the less congested it'll be, because they will know how far back it is and enforce that. And if there's another self-driving car behind them, they'll determine, okay, what's the safe distance I need to be behind this car so that it's optimal. Now, this fact has been claimed by that video as well as an article I found by the site Autobile. Eventually, if all cars are self-driving cars and it is illegal to drive your car yourself, a few magical things will happen. First, because cars will be able to communicate with each other, there'll be no need for stoplights or traffic lights or anything like that at intersections. Secondly, the speeds you'll be going will increase greatly due to that. And thirdly, it'll severely reduce the number of traffic accidents that occur. And lastly, one of my favorites, you'll no longer have to go hunting around for a parking spot. Fortunately, when it comes to cars in Colorado, self-driving cars in Colorado, the Colorado legislative site told me that just last week, a bill was passed that will allow the testing of self-driving cars in Colorado and the eventual implementation. So instead of calling up your local representative, which I was going to suggest you do, here's what you can do instead. Go check out Google's self-driving car program. It's very enlightening, and I found it very helpful. Their site is waymo.com. So in conclusion, I'm going to leave you with just something to mull over a little. If the elderly had self-driving cars, not only would it be safer, but you would never be stuck behind that slow granny on the freeway. To review, people are bad at driving cars because they lack coordination and have poor reaction times. We fix this by taking humans out of the equation and having self-driving cars do it instead. I can't tell you when self-driving cars will be here, but I can tell you this: it can't happen soon enough. Thank you.